Hello and welcome to Three Sisters here near Wigan for round 7 of the British Minibikes Championship, featuring classes for juniors that in 2024 will become the official Road to Moto GP Junior World Series based in the UK. Earlier I spoke to the championship organiser and a BSB team principal to ask all about the plans for 2024, how they have come about and how to get your kids involved in the world of motorcycle racing from the age of 6. The three amigos, or the three Allans here, Alan Gardner from TDI Media, introducing Alan Lord, who's the championship organiser for the British Minibikes Championship. Been doing that for a number of years. And Alan Gardner joins us as well from OMG Racing, British Superbike Champions. We're here this weekend for round 7 of the British Minibikes Championship, but it's as a prelude to what's going on for next year. Some very exciting things. So there's a few things about what's going on there.
Yeah, well, next season we've got a massive change in the championship. We're converting over to mainly a junior championship, which is a junior progression championship. The idea is to take kids from 6 years old right the way up to 14, introduce them into two-wheel motorsport, obviously track racing, as you can see today, and then through a progression scale and a training scale, take them up to someday we hand them back to big championships, well-trained, well-honed, and hopefully very fast kids.
And Alan Gardner, that is, from OMG, what's going to be your involvement?
I've always tried to help younger parts of the sport as much as possible. I believe the younger boys and girls start riding, the more experience they're going to get, the faster they're going to get. And on a selfish point of view, if I can help the championship in any way, maybe in 10 years' time I get a superbike rider come and want to ride for me because I've helped them out when they were 6 or 7 years old. And it just gives them a better grounding in how a paddock works, how racing works. Alan always has done a fantastic job. So when they get to our paddock at British Superbikes, they understand how a paddock works. It's quite, for anybody coming in there blind as such, it's quite daunting, I think. So the way Alan runs a paddock is very, very similar. It's very strict in the way it should be and safety conscious. And he just gets the kids getting as quick as possible, as fast as possible, as in from an early age, and helps me. So I think it's only fair that I help him.
The idea of having a child from that young and having them in a proper environment where you've got doctors, paramedics, ambulances, trained marshals, trained, organising team around them to make that as safe as it possibly can be. Applied, especially next year, because we're running under the ACU, part of the FIM and Dorna World Series. We have the best possible safety level we can possibly give those children. So I think it's keen to get that over. That's what this is all about. It's not just chucking a kid out on a bike saying, off you go, let's get you fast. It's about doing it in a safe, clean, fast environment with the right tuition, the right progression, which is what we all want. We want the kids to be safe. We start off with the very, very young, which start from 6 years old on the mini motos. They're restricted. Obviously, they'll stay on those bikes probably up until 10. The next class up is the Avali and Mini GP 110 class, which is a 10-inch wheel. So next size up, next size in power. And you start from 9 from that up to 13. Once they get through that class, they then go to the Mini GP 160 and Avali 160, which is also part of the FIM World Series, which is a massive thing for the kids, especially their development and their promotion throughout the world for it. So it's a big series we'll get into in a minute. They then go up to the Mini GP 190, which starts from 12-year-old up until 16, which is the age, I think, in a couple of years' time where we'll be handing them up to the bigger bike classes. At the moment, it's 14, but I think the way it's going, that will extend further. So it's our job throughout that progression to get them steadily through the ranks without rushing them and get them through with steady progression, getting slightly bigger, slightly faster machinery as they get more experience under the belt. So at the end of the times, they say when they're in the 190s and it's the 14 or 16-year-olds, they're ready to start racing under other ACU bigger circuit championships.
And the biggest question we get that hasn't been answered yet in all of that, just go through the sort of speeds that the viewers will expect the kids to be doing today, and the slower, the mini moto smaller bikes, and then progressing up to the mini GP bikes. What sort of speeds are you getting up to here at Three Sisters? This is quite a fast track.
This is a fast circuit for the mini motors. In fact, you'll see that we've made an infield for the mini motors here to keep the speeds down. But you'll see them topping out about 55, 60 mile an hour, probably the maximum speed. Obviously their average speed is quite a lot lower than that, but that'll be top speed in the mini motos. 110s, about the 70-mile-an-hour bracket, but they're 4-stroke geared bikes, so there's a lot more torque involved in them there. They put along quicker. And then once I get from that age, you're up to the 160s, which again is another horsepower and a slightly bigger wheel. And you're up to about 80 mile an hour. And then the 190 bikes will do between 90 and 95 mile an hour on some of the bigger circuits. And say that's a top speed. That's not the average speed. The average speed is far lower than that.
Yeah. So next year then, World Series, just talk a little bit about how that's all come about.
Okay, we were asked by Dorna. We did help out with the World Series a few years back, which was very, very popular. We've been asked by Dorna to, as part of their Road to Moto GP series and promotion, to host the FIM 160 and FIM 190 championship, which are Ovale only. It's an Ovale class. This is a World Series. So every country in the world is taking part in this. Top 3 riders in each of those classes will be invited to their local Moto GP. Like for us, it will be possibly MotoGP Silverstone, where they'll go and take part in interviews, promotions, and that sort of thing. The winners of each of those respective championships, top 3, will go to race in Valencia in MotoGP weekend in their particular classes, the Ovale 160 and the Ovale 190. This is a circuit that's been built by Dorna and the FIM. They provide the bikes, they provide the leathers, they provide all the equipment, all the promotion. It's a massive thing for kids to be part of this world stage during the MotoGP final round, where all eyes are on them. All of the current MotoGP stars from that particular country come and help. They're in the paddock helping them with it and also helping promote it, and generally helping to look after the kids. It's a massive thing, and the promotion level is huge.
Yeah, and we don't tend to see this in four-wheel racing, do we? It's all about how much money people have got, and they don't get that opportunity that potentially the kids here will get next year. So anybody watching this now, not involved in the sport, doesn't even know the sport goes on. Plenty of people are not aware that there's this sort of level of activity going on. If they want to get involved in it, we'll put the link down to the website, but what's the easiest way to do that?
Probably through the website itself, which is www.britishminibikes.com. Couldn't get much simpler than that. All the information will be on there. At the moment, the World Series side of it hasn't been listed. Very shortly will do. Or you can go on our Facebook page, which again is British Minibikes. Again, it doesn't get much simpler than that.
Okay, guys, well, thanks very much for your time. We'll get underway with the racing. First race up, Jake Sanson, the commentator, has the grid positions. Jake.